This is Reckless chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Reckless.
That I was friends with. And they're like, you can't do that. This is what's going on. We need to have a sit down. So I went to the sit down.
Because you have to, if you ever try to do something like that, you need permission, right?
Well, I feel that it depends on what kind of person you are. I feel that permission thing is not necessarily permission. I feel that it's, if you're known and you're uphold yourself with a certain hierarchy of life, and you're known and you've been around and stuff like that, that if you just do it and you stand your ground when you do it, that I'm not giving nobody permission out there to be doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not telling anybody out there right now that, yeah, do what you want to do. No, you just really can't just do what you want to do, but make sure if you're going to do what you want to do that you know what you're getting into. Be willing to, there's consequences on both sides of this thing, no matter what you do. There's a dirt path or a behind steel path. You know what I mean? Steel on one side and dirt on the other. You pick your path. You know what I mean? The in between is you're getting by type shit.
Yeah.
But don't. Anyway, so with what I was doing, I get approached. I was a dickhead. I thought, me and the two guys I had at the time with this little crew, we would take on the world. So we had to sit down to this one smaller club. And basically, we really did. We looked at them and said, you, whatever. I'll do what I want to. Well, then we get approached by the larger club. And they asked for a sit down. And then when you walk into a situation where it's 9-on-2, you kind of size up the room when this happened. I did. And I was like, damn.
I think we're in over our head this time, right?
I got up. And I was given the option then of, hey, look, just take that off. Hang around. Ride with us. We're not telling you can't ride. We're not telling you can't eventually one day, if you want to, formulate a situation and have your own. We're telling you right now, we don't know you. Ride with us. Hang out. Show us who you are. Just take that off. So, I did. I was like, all right, let's go ride with these guys. Let's see what happens. So we did.
Now, this is the bigger club of the guys that you were friends with, right?
No, this is the larger club of my area at the time.
Okay.
This is where it started at, where they were upset that we were leaving.
Yeah.
And coming back on the weekends.
Yeah.
And we decided to do that, and then it was almost like day and night that we were nobodies and hated. So we were everybody's first go, hey man, we're going this over here today. Y'all two need to come check this out. So it was like me and my friend at the time rode our asses off for these guys, and I never prospected. Not one day did I prospect for this club. And I was also the only person I don't know the only person in the history, but at the time period, I don't know of anybody else that rode a Victory motorcycle and not a Harley for this club. And it was pretty cool because I was getting invites to go here, there. We rode everywhere with these guys.
But it looked like a Harley, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was American made. It was American made, so it was cool. We went everywhere with these guys. I mean, the president of the chapter at the time, we would be on his front porch at 3:00. He wouldn't get home till 4. We were smoking a joint on his front porch at 3:00 in the afternoon because he told us to go ahead and go over there, hang out. I'll be there in a little while. And we would ride. I'd ride till 2:00 in the morning with this guy everywhere, all over Virginia, all over the East Coast type stuff.
You see any craziness when you were with these guys?
Not really. they rode with some respect too. So the stuff that would be crazy was more or less maybe other chapters that was happening at the time. You know what I mean? So I didn't really get into a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, I got into some crazy stuff where I was asked to go do some things, you know, and we go do it. You know, I'd be him, another member, a full patch member, and two guys who were just hanging around. Stood down nine patch members of an opposing club one night that came to us, and I was like, at the end of this situation, I actually walked up to the biggest guy in this situation that was opposing to us and was like, look, is that guy over there really worth all this bull? Like, because if you think about it, he's the one causing the problems. He's with y'all, and y'all are here ready to make more problems because the ending resolution of this probably ain't gonna be good. Like, I talked this whole situation down like a negotiator, you know, and I was like, I don't want to be up or dead, but I'm willing to do what it takes. But at the moment, let's think. Let's use our brains before we start getting into the, you know. And it won't because they are all like, oh yeah, you know, you're right. And they pretty much just turned around and looked at their guy, the one that was causing the situation. There's like they like grabbed him up by the collar like a little kid. Come on, get you know, like, you stop. You know, it was kind of cool. They reprimanded him, you know, in the situation. Like, yeah, this dude's causing. So
There's a pretty big MC culture in Virginia, right?
it's in the bigger cities, yeah. Um, there's there's a couple clubs around there that are doing things and coming through from time to time, and you'll see at times where it's a larger scale of stuff going on, and then all of a sudden you won't hear a lot about it, and then you'll see them one day, you'll see a bunch of them again, and then you'll see it get silent again,
Yeah.
and a lot of internal problems is what causes stuff like that. You know, I mean, you gotta keep these guys not doing so many crazy.
I've noticed that even around the country, countrywide, right? Like
Yeah,
you'll hear about certain clubs, boom, or in this area, and then it'll die down, and then it'll be over here, and then it'll die down. That's with all the clubs too. It'll spark over here, it'll die down. Spark over here, it'll die down. It's not like constant. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's constant and it keeps going. But usually it's one thing happens, it dies down.
yeah. There's a lot of controversial, like interaction that causes problems. And yeah, I've got some good advice one time from a guy that I've yet to ever meet. Just we talk on different social media. Still don't know who he is, but you know the best advice I ever got from him is if you are in a MC, you might have had an actual blood brother or an actual family member or one of your best friends growing up who's in a different MC. When you do that, you can't put both of y'all as the same anymore and continue to. You can have your personal feelings about anybody you want and still love that person and still be brothers, but you can't mix the two MCs. You can't, you know what I mean? It's hard to maintain a love relationship of brotherhood with people who don't represent the same thing you wear.
Yeah.
And when you have those, and that's mainly in the larger MCs, the smaller ones or brotherhoods or small RCs or whatever, a lot of them are always intertwined and doing things together. That's different. But like me, for instance, I used to say I have friends in almost every large MC, but I don't really. I have acquaintances in every large MC. People I can reach out to if I'm gonna be in an area. People I can reach out to if I have an issue with somebody coming around that say they were part of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I really have nowadays. I can't. I have somebody I would lay down for as what I would do in life if we were in the same area no matter what I was wearing, because I know he'd do the same for me. But I will not say his name. He knows who he is. He's in Virginia, and he rides with this larger club. You know what I mean? And that is one of my best. Uh, it's hard to say. I can't even say it. I don't know how to say it. But you know what I mean? He's that. We got that connection. We both know who each other are.
Yeah.
Both know what we would do for each other, and it's not because of what we wear. It's because of what we've been through together, what we've seen together, and what we know that nobody else knows together. And I can do this with him. I don't know a lot of other people in other clubs that can do that with other people. And it's a real hard thing to do, you know, if you don't have that um, connection, then it keeps things more civil. Because if you have that connection and you feel that you're in an area where there's multiple clubs and you think it's okay, you walk over here, you want to talk to him, they're going to question him, they're going to question me, and that's when all the problems start.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, and a lot of people don't understand that. When I was doing that hang around time with that club in particular, with the one guy I was with at the time, which was also part of our little trio, which is with the other guy. You know, so I've got multiple people that multiple times in my life have always been there when I've been in situations with clubs who are in Virginia and now still and when I decided the week I was allowed, I was being told I was all right, we're ready for you to patch in. No prospect phase. Still yet, no prospect phase. Never wore prospect patch for this club. They,
Wow.
the patch fee was like it's $750. At that point, it was outrageous for this particular club. Um, we uh we were going to an event for the club up in Northern Virginia, and incident happened up there where all these patch members had no idea what decision to make while the president was in a meeting doing something else, right? And we had our old ladies with us, a bunch of us did. Our hotel was about 5 miles down the road, and we were going to leave this event. And the old ladies got in the Jeep drunk as hell, decided they were just going to pull off and leave. And oh, I don't know what to do. Should we stay? Should we go? And I'm like, listen, there's enough of us here. Some of us should ride, follow them to the hotel, stay with him until he comes out of his meeting. Well, as a hanger around, I should have never been able to be allowed to make that decision. They
No.
should have listened to me. I wasn't wearing a prospect patch. I wasn't a patch of anything. Even the guy that considered my brother at the time that was prospecting with me on this whole journey was like, you know, that is the best idea. Those guys finally, oh yeah, let's do that. So me and another guy being the guys to follow the old ladies. On the way, another incident happens. Another one of our guys decides he was going to follow too, and then he pulls off into a store with two cops sitting there. And you're like, what the? Another one of our guys turns around and comes back to that, and I'm like, oh my god,
Why would he do that?
I don't know. So finally, everybody gets back to the hotel room. Everybody gets back to the hotel. President's back with everybody else. I'm in my room. I get a bang on my door. Bam, bam, bam. He takes me out of my room, go down this little corridor between everything on the way to this pool, and he's like, all right, like, read my ass. Why do you think, who do you think you are making decisions and everybody, da, 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 and this is scattered out and this and that and everything. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? What the fuck is going on? I was like, dude, all I did was say, hey, I made a suggestion because everybody, and the old lady was trying to leave. Like, so if they would have left without us, went to the hotel, or anything would have happened between there and the hotel without us, we would have gotten in trouble. You know what I mean? Not trouble, but as reprimanded as who we are. You know what I mean?
What do they think if you're a hang around? There's no input. You don't give any input.
Hang around phase most of the time is like, listen, that's the time period that everybody in the club, in that area, or in the chapter, that's really the time period they're they're supposed to learn you, and uh, and that's how they get to know you. That time period, I've always been experienced with is that's the time when you go and you make yourself seen. You go to everything you can go to. You show up, but not to put in work. I don't feel hang-around should have to put in work or anything. I feel that unless they're volunteer, they're not. I don't ask them hang around to put in work. I think that that's something that if they're willing to do it, and what kind of work I'm saying, not business, but work as in if we're going to an event, we're going to set up for an event, we're going to hang out and help set up an event. The hang around's going to show up, and he's going to be there, and he's going to be like, "Oh, I'll help y'all set these tents up, or I'll help you move these tables, or I'll bring this and that." You know,
But
that
it's
type of
good if
stuff.
he does that, right? The hang around does that. It's a good.
Yeah,
Looks
that's what I'm
good
saying.
for
As a hang around, that's the type of stuff that's expected, and can be seen as all right. Oh, we trust him. He comes. He's been seen. We know him enough. We know where he lives in a sense. We rode with him. He shows up. That's that phase. You know what I mean? Prospecting is when you really put in the work.